From our studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park, it's Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thee.
Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. I'm Jeff Thee, coming to you from our studios right here at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park. My guest today is Mike Hawkins with the DNR, and we've got so much to talk about. You know, I know you've got a big meeting for the East Okoboji Improvement Program coming up here in June. We got CURRLYLEAF, which is always of interest, it seems, Mike, and then you've got some other projects going on at the hatchery, and there's an island. Wow. Okay. Let's start off with the East Okoboji Improvement Program and kind of what it is, and what's going to happen is June 5th. I see Saturday, June 5th.
So East Okoboji Lakes Improvement Corporation, they're the local lake association for East Okoboji and the lower chain that kind of encompasses that, and they've asked me to speak at their annual meeting coming up on that Saturday, and so we'll cover a few different topics. Terry Wiltz is kind of running some of the program there and has asked me to talk a little bit about curlyleaf pondweed, some of the other projects that we've got going on in East Okoboji. Can't say enough about the partnership with East Okoboji Lakes Improvement Corporation. They've been the lead on working with us on invasive species management for East Okoboji with the curlyleaf pondweed issue that we've been having. They are helping with you mentioned the island project. They're providing some financial support for the island project and that restoration. They've been working a lot of water quality projects, with the county and city of Spirit Lake.
Right. Francis Heights project that phase 2 of that is just going now. Yes.
Right, and so their membership's been definitely involved. Their leadership's been involved with lots of things that are going on, positive stuff for East Okoboji and the lower chain. There's always things to fix and always things to work on, but they've made some good strides, and they've been an excellent partner to work with, and that's what we're looking for. We have management authority on the lake,
right?
But these are the people's lake. These are sovereign water bodies. They belong to the people of Iowa. So it's great to work with an organization that keeps the water quality and habitat and recreational use all at the forefront and working in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about partnership, from being citizens to the government organizations. This is how we make this area work, and sometimes we run into a wall or a bit of a hump or something, but we find answers by doing it together.
Right. And there's, what I've found is if we've got good projects, they're founded on good science, and we've got good community support. Typically, we can find ways to get things funded, and it's just a matter of a little bit of time usually to figure out what that equation is.
On the CURRLYLEAF subject, where are we? You hear these rumors. Well, with the water level as low as it was this winter, this is going to happen, and it's those things you hear at the coffee shop or wherever.
Right.
Are we still treating, or what are we doing now?
Yeah. So the end of April, towards the end of April, we did our annual herbicide treatment, and that's a spot treatment. So there's a lot to explain about curlyleaf pondweed. It's we've got a lot of other native plants that are in East Okoboji Lake. They all germinate in the spring, just like our terrestrial plants do. Sure. They grow through the summer. Some of them have flowering phase that they go through, and then they senesce or they die back in the fall.
Right.
Curlyleaf pondweed germinates in the fall. It grows a little bit underneath the ice and stays, somewhat dormant.
Yeah.
And by spring, it's supercharged and ready to go. And so it races to the surface. Yep. So it beats out those native plants for sunlight.
Right.
With plants, it's always a competition for sunlight.
Sure.
Whether it's algae or those rooted plants, or those native plants that are coming up later. So curlyleaf pondweed gets there by about the end of June. Yep. Its life cycle is done.
Right.
So we see it turn brown, and then it dies back. Usually by July 1st, it's basically laid down, and it starts to decompose. And we typically will get an algae bloom associated with that decomposition. So it's releasing phosphorus back into the water. Algae can feed on that, and then you get algae blooms. So typically our water quality starts to diminish.
Right.
Right now, if you get up in those beds of curlyleaf pondweed, it's crystal clear. Those plants are keeping that water clear.
Yeah.
They're using up those nutrients, provide some habitat. It's not all bad.
Right, exactly.
But,
exactly.
So what we've seen last year, and it looks like again this year, is the curlyleaf is it's there. It's incredible amount of curlyleaf pondweed right now.
Right.
But it's just below the surface. So it's not showing its head yet. Last year we had some areas that the curlyleaf topped out, and that becomes now visible for everybody to see.
Yeah.
And you can see where the curlyleaf pondweed is on that north half of East Okoboji, and then some of the shorelines of some of the lower lakes as well. But it is not getting to that surface last year. Okay. This year, it looks like it's kind of stunting out again. And so again, it's there. Boat props are going through it, and they're clipping it.
Yeah.
And those clippings then are coming into shore and causing some problems for some lakeshore owners.
That's right.
But that looks to be, we'll know here by the end of May whether it's actually going to get to the surface and be real visible. But rest assured, it's under the surface, and it's definitely an issue. The herbicide treatment that we do is safe and effective for this plant. It's labeled for this use. We have a professional applicator that comes in. We work with the City of Orleans. The City of Orleans is a great partner in this. They handle some of the contracting for that, and work with the East Okoboji Lakes Improvement Corporation. They applied that herbicide probably around 10 or 12 miles of shoreline on East Okoboji. We added Lake Minnewaska to that this year, and then some portions of Lower Gar as well, to try to provide better boating access.
So
can't treat it all.
No.
There's a lot of acres there.
Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely.
And the other fact that folks don't realize is that curlyleaf's been here a long time. It's been here since probably the 1940s is when it was first discovered.
Okay.
And it's in all of our lakes. We have it in each of the Iowa Great Lakes. It's growing in West Okoboji right now. It's up on Spirit. It just doesn't get to the surface and cause those navigation issues like we see on East Okoboji, where it's a little more shallow on the north end.
Yeah, it's just the perfect habitat for that to happen there. Yes. Now on the subject of the island, Mike.
Yeah. Sure. The East Okoboji Island, and I've had a lot of people, we talk about the East Okoboji Island project, and folks are like, there's an island in East Okoboji? And there, if you look back at the historic photos, we've got aerial photos going back to the 1930s, and East Okoboji Island, which is off of Jingles Point there, it'd be in between, kind of halfway in between the Ritz and around the corner to the south to Triggs Bay Resort. So in between there, off that, kind of near that point, there's a small island that was there. It's been there a long time. Geologically speaking, it's probably been there since the lake was formed. It was a much bigger island, probably double the size, even of the restoration that we did. Historically, over time, that island is just kind of eroded away. Wind and wave action, and especially the last 5 years of high water. We've had some of the highest water besides 1993.
Yeah, I was going to say besides 93, right?
So besides 93, we are coming off of some of the highest water that we've seen in the Iowa Great Lakes, and that is really tough on shorelines. And this was an unprotected shoreline, unprotected island, and water, wind and waves had kind of moved all that material off the island, turned it into more of a peninsula, connected it to land. And so the project came to light by the East Okoboji Island Condo Association. And so there's a condominium there and a group of homeowners that came to us and asked, can we do something to clean up the island? Let's work on a project together. And so we made it a little bit bigger than just cleaning up the island. We wanted to kind of restore some of that shoreline. And so we got a project put together with the Condo Association and the East Okoboji Lakes Improvement Corporation and the Iowa DNR Lake Restoration Program, which provides funding, for some lake work. And we restored all of the shoreline of the island. We dredged out material from around the island, all that sand
Right.
And material that was on the bottom of the lake that had been swept off. Added that to the top, increased the elevation. We brought in a small amount of topsoil so we can grow something on it. We've seeded it with prairie, diverse prairie mix up on top, and then covered it with erosion matting.
Cool.
And so hopefully here with some rain, and we'll start to see it green up. We'll work on trying to keep the geese off of it because they're going to love all that.
Always a
grass.
challenge.
Yeah. So put a little fencing up most likely to keep the geese up to let the prairie get developed.
Yeah.
After that, it'll just be about 3 years of keeping it mowed slightly, and then we'll use some fire probably to maintain that prairie.
Right. Yeah.
You might even see an oak tree or two get planted out there just to.
My goodness.
It'll.
A little bit of history of the Iowa Great Lakes, really.
It is geologic history,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's made a little more prominent feature too for the lakes area. So it's an important habitat feature for the lake. It's
Indeed.
400 around 500 feet of shoreline.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of shoreline, no doubt about it. Well, and before we go, you've got a great project going out at the hatchery that is really a big change.
Sure. Yeah, we've been closed through COVID, so we've missed everybody coming in to see fish and see the big fish in the spring. Next year, hopefully, we're back and folks are able to get in and take a look at all of that. But they're going to see some big changes there. Kim Hawkins, the hatchery manager for the hatchery, and their staff have a big project going to take the hatching portion of this, so the incubation of the eggs, off of lake water. So right now the hatchery is fed with Big Spirit Lake water, pretty much raw water, which is problematic for a number of
reasons. Where you're getting everything that
zebra mussels, zooplankton, algae, it's all coming in. And then not only that, but we have these huge temperature fluctuations in the spring.
Yes.
And that can cause some problems for for the hatch and delaying things. We've also had some dissolved gas issues, just a lot of problems with that. What they're going to do is move to a closed recirculation system for hatching.
Okay.
This doesn't change how we raise fish in the hatchery, but it will change the entire hatching process.
Right.
We'll use city water that's been treated that will be in the system. It'll be replaced with a little bit every day as they need fresh water, and then there'll just be some small amount of wastewater.
Yeah.
But that will give them a lot more control, and the fry that are leaving the hatchery for stocking won't have to be treated for zebra mussels.
Right.
So
a lot of work goes with the way that it's been done forever.
This zebra mussel thing has really thrown a wrench into hauling fish. So when we haul our product out of the hatchery, we definitely have to be cognizant that we have zebra mussels on board. So we do a water treatment to that water that kills the zebra mussels but doesn't kill the fish.
Yeah.
But it's definitely stressful for the fish, and we want to try to remove that stress.
Right, absolutely. Well, a lot of great things going on, and thank you for all your hard work of keeping our lakes pristine and working with other associations. We want generations to come to be able to live and play here, and it's all us working together, like we said, Mike.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a fun place to work.
It's a fun place to live. I attest to that as well. All right, my friend, thank you for joining me here today.
You bet.
Mike Hawkins has been our guest here today from, of course, the Department of Natural Resources. We want to thank him for taking a few minutes. Hey, we thank you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast.
Okoboji Broadcast from the studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park is brought to you by the Scott Troutman State Farm Agency in Spirit Lake, Pure Fishing in Spirit Lake, Last Touch Painting and Cleaning providing interior, exterior, house painting and professional cleaning services in Spirit Lake, Quest Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, advisor Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholz. Ducky's Marine and Motorsports Repair in Spirit Lake. Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well. Lakes Regional Healthcare and Avera Partner. Ruthven Locker at the lake, where carnivores are welcome on Hill Avenue in Spirit Lake. Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake. Be Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji.